I was the only person alive with a 6S class Esper ability. For 5 years, I protected humanity. And my reward? A ruthless military tribunal. Thousands even signed blood petitions demanding they seal my powers and throw me in prison. Looking around at the crowd inside and outside the courtroom, I just started laughing like a maniac. Honestly, you do not need to go to all this trouble. You want an explanation? Here it is. As of today, I am quitting the Esper Association. I will no longer help defend against the beast hordes. Hearing this, the president of the Esper Association, Qin Wushuang, stared at me in shock. Are you trying to threaten me by quitting? You are not the only triple S class Esper we have. If you think this kind of stunt is going to scare us, let me tell you, you are dead wrong. I will give you one chance to take that back. Quietly accept your punishment, and you can stay in the association. You will even keep all of your benefits. Hearing this, I just sneered. You can give that status and those benefits to someone else. With those words, I gently raised my hand. The metal chains binding me suddenly snapped, and a terrifying yellow energy surged all around my body. This energy was at least double S class, but before I could even make a move, a young woman in her early 20s suddenly appeared right beside me. Staring at the yellow energy surrounding me, absolute anger flashed in her eyes. With a swift wave of her hand, a surge of pale blue energy erupted, matching the yellow power blow for blow. The collision of the two massive forces instantly triggered a violent explosion in the air. As the shockwaves spread and the smoke cleared, a muscular man appeared, glaring fiercely at the girl standing beside me. Yishu, what is the meaning of this? Are you actually trying to protect him? At those words, a flash of killing intent filled Yishui's eyes. Enough if Li Xiao hadn't held the line alone against the beasts for 5 years, buying precious time for other espers to grow stronger. How could the association suppress them so easily now? You are not just ungrateful, you actually want to punish him. Hearing this, the double S-class Esper, Shui Qiang, sneered. What do you even know? Li Xiao might have helped us in the past, but this is different. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have suffered such heavy losses. The people in the courtroom nodded in agreement with Shui Qiang. At that moment, I looked over at Ye Shui standing beside me. You really didn't need to step in. If I want to leave, nobody can stop me. Yi Shui just shook her head. When the beast horde attacked the city back then, I would have died if it weren't for you. How could I just stand by and watch right now? With those words, she turned her head. If you want to keep Li Xiao here today, you will have to step over my dead body. Hearing this, Shui Qiang's eyes turned icy cold. Yi Shu, as a candidate for the Triple S class, aren't you worried this stunt will ruin your entire future? I do not care about the future. I only know that Li Xiao saved my life. Up on the judge's bench, Qin Wushuang's expression turned incredibly grim. Li Xiao, I will ask you one last time, are you absolutely sure you want to leave the Esper Association? I nodded calmly and said I was sure. She sighed. Very well. Considering your past achievements, we will let this slide. But you are not quitting today. Make no mistake, you are being expelled by this association. Besides, we have already trained plenty of Triple S-class Espers. The world won't end just because we lose you. After saying this, Qin Wushuang smirked with satisfaction, but she was disappointed when she saw absolutely no anger on my face. 5 years of fighting mutated beasts had left me completely exhausted. Only I knew the true terror of the monsters lurking within those massive hordes. Since the association wanted to throw me away, why would I fight it? Qin Wushuang's voice rang out again. Li Xiao, did you hear me clearly? I got it. So, can I go now? Qin Wushuang waved her hand dismissively. Seeing me prepare to leave, Yi Shui looked deeply reluctant. I told her I was off. Keep training hard in the association, and try to break through to Triple S class as soon as you can. And if you ever need to see me, you know where to find me. With those final words, I completely vanished. Within seconds, I reached the very edge of the city. Beyond this border, almost all traces of human civilization faded away. Instead, there were only massive mutated trees and terrifying wild beasts hunting for food. I looked back once, feeling absolutely no regret. I vanished, slipping right past the edge. The moment I crossed, 100 miles away in a ruined wasteland, a white-winged tiger snapped its eyes open. It stared straight back towards Star City, 100 miles behind me. A terrifying beast king, far stronger than any double S-class Esper. Yet right now, those golden eyes flashed with pure confusion. That monster of a human had actually abandoned his post. Was he really not afraid of a massive invasion? Meanwhile, miles away, a terrifying steed covered in blood-red scales and slit pupils also glared toward Star City. This was another beast king, one exceeding Triple S class. You felt it too? The white-winged tiger rumbled. Yeah, that guy named Li Xiao actually walked out on the human settlement. His aura leaked for only a fraction of a second, but I am absolutely certain. The red steed hissed in a chilling tone. He blocked us for years. Did he finally lose patience and set some kind of trap to lure us in? Then, the tiger's eyes shifted slightly, as if some sudden realization had just hit him. Think about it. I recently felt several new double S-class espers waking up inside that city. Could this Li Xiao be trying to bait us into attacking, only to flank us from behind and wipe us all out in one clean shot? No way. If those green, newly minted triple S-class punks dare to face us, I could tear them apart all by myself. Still, we need to be careful. But since Li Xiao handed us this perfect opening on a silver platter, we can't ignore it. Let's send a horde to test the waters first. A deafening, earth-shaking roar suddenly exploded from the white-winged tiger's jaws. In moments, thousands of mutated monsters scrambled toward their master. Just like that, a massive beast horde stood ready to march. Meanwhile, inside the Esper Association headquarters, a cocky young man playing with blue flames had a completely different take. He is just one triple S class. Without Li Xiao, you still have us. If he is gone, who cares? Listening to this, Qin Wanxiao's tense face relaxed. Ying Xuan, you are absolutely right. In the past, Li Xiao held off those beast kings all alone. Now that we have 3 triple S-class espers, keeping the hordes at bay will be a walk in the park. At those words, the lips of Ying Xuan and his 2 companions curled into smug, arrogant smiles. They laughed, of course it is. With the 3 of us triple S-class espers working together, those beast kings won't stand a chance. Honestly, they haven't even shown their faces in ages, and even if they actually crawl out of hiding, those beast kings will just end up as corpses at our feet. Maybe we can even broadcast a live execution of a beast king for everyone in the city to watch. A confirmed kill like that would completely erase every single thing Li Xiao ever accomplished in his entire life. After that, nobody in the entire Esper Association will ever stand above us. A sudden surge of greedy excitement flashed through the eyes of Ying Xuan and his crew. Right then, Qin Wanxiao spoke up again. Actually, we just got a report from the border patrol squads. Apparently, someone spotted Li Xiao walking right out of our territory. Ying Xuan just shrugged, waving his hand like it was nothing. Now that Li Xiao has been kicked out of the association, whatever he does is none of our business. As long as he keeps his nose clean and stays away from our cities, let the old man rot wherever he wants. Sure, if he eventually realizes his massive mistake and crawls back to beg for forgiveness, we might let him in. But he will be starting at the absolute bottom. With those words, the entire conference room erupted into nasty, arrogant laughter. By now, it had been a solid half a day since I stepped past the boundaries of the association territory. Even though I spent years guarding the front lines, constantly staring down the beasts just beyond the wall, actually, over the last 5 years, I had barely ever stepped foot outside the civilized zones protected by the association. The crushing weight of those triple S-class beast kings made it impossible for me to ever step away. If I had abandoned my post for even a single second, it was almost certain that a beast king would have immediately launched a massive horde to tear the city apart. But now, since I walked away from the association, even if those monsters decide to overrun the place, none of it has anything to do with me anymore. Looking around, massive trees towering hundreds of feet high completely blocked out the sky, wrapping the world in shadow. Wild, mutated beasts prowled and fed beneath the thick canopy, where the moss-covered ruins of a city destroyed 5 years ago lay buried. Right then, a strange spike of Esper energy registered in Li Xiao's mind. His eyes widened in slight surprise. Suddenly, a low, guttural growl echoed right by his ear, and the leaves of the towering trees began to shake. Seconds later, a massive gray wolf easily 20 meters long burst into view. Fangs bared, it suddenly lunged from the thick brush. It lashed out with both front claws, its razor-sharp talons gleaming with a cold, deadly light. A surprise ambush from a beast like this would instantly kill even an unprepared A-class Esper. But Li Xiao just stood there. He did not even flinch as the beast closed in. Within a fraction of a second, those deadly claws were just a few inches away from his face. But in that exact instant, the lunging beast ran headfirst into absolute terror. The massive wolf froze solid mid-air. Li Xiao slowly turned his head, staring calmly at the giant predator that was dozens of times larger than his own body. His expression was one of pure disbelief. He actually seemed shocked that a mutated beast had the nerve to ambush him. Sure, this wolf had the strength of an A-class threat, but back in the day, A-class beasts did not even have the right to be cannon fodder to him. When he was busy fighting double S-class beast kings, a regular S-class monster was nothing more than a minor distraction, killed in a second just to buy their king a brief moment to strike. You actually dare to attack me? Hearing this, a wave of absolute, primal terror flooded the giant wolf's massive eyes. Its low whimper carried a deep, hopeless panic. Then, without warning, the terror in its eyes simply froze. Every last spark of life inside the gray wolf vanished instantly. Its huge body slammed into the dirt, making the surrounding earth shake. Nearby, hidden deep in the thick brush, a few figures watched in silence. They stared straight in Li Xiao's direction. Their eyes were wide with sheer horror as they looked from him to the lifeless corpse of the massive wolf. An A-class threat, dead just like that without even fighting back. Was this guy an S-class Esper or some monster in human disguise? But then, their pupils shrank in sheer panic. They suddenly realized that Li Xiao was looking directly at their hiding spot. "Come out," he said, raising a hand and making a sharp pulling motion toward the trees. Instantly, a huge row of giant trees collapsed. The hidden onlookers felt the entire world spin around them. When the dust settled, Li Xiao was standing right in front of them, asking if they were human or beasts in disguise. Staring up at the man standing before them, a fresh wave of terror washed over their faces. They desperately wanted to run, but an overwhelming pressure locked their bodies in place, making it impossible to move. Li Xiao did not say anything right away. He simply studied the group before him. If his memory served him right, they were at least 100 miles from the closest city under the Esper Association, and the absolute strongest of them was only a class. At that level, they would have barely survived against that gray wolf. So how did they manage to travel over 100 miles to get here? The association cities are at least 100 miles away. With your weak power, how did you slip past all the monsters to get here? As he spoke, the group suddenly felt the heavy pressure on their bodies lighten up quite a bit. They could move again, but none of them even dreamed of trying to run. What Li Xiao had just done made his power clear. He could wipe them all out in a heartbeat. "We are not from the cities ruled by the Esper Association," one explained. "We are actually from Qi City." He swallowed hard, staring at Li Xiao, before falling silent again and watching him with extreme caution. Earlier, when he easily killed that massive wolf, they had assumed he was just an S-class, but then he casually dragged them right in front of him. Even the only double S-class guardian protecting Qi City could not pull off a stunt like that. This mysterious powerhouse in front of them had to be at least as strong as their own double S-class guardian, and he clearly was not with the association. Hearing their unexpected answer, a brief flicker of surprise crossed Li Xiao's face. But then, a memory sparked. Before he walked away from the Esper Association, he had heard people whisper about this. Besides the main cities that had been fully taken over and built up by the association, there were still a few isolated places where the stubborn locals simply refused to pack up and leave. They were never absorbed by the Esper Association. They operated completely outside its jurisdiction, surviving entirely on their own. Could this Qi City they mentioned be one of those places? "Excuse me, sir. My name is Shuming. We heard you mention the Esper Association earlier. Are you a member?" While Li Xiao wondered where they came from, these strangers were trying to figure him out too. Xu Ming, one of the fighters, stared at Li Xiao and asked cautiously. He was the strongest in their squad, a certified A-class Esper. "The Esper Association? I used to be, but not anymore." Hearing the question, Li Xiao smiled and shook his head. "Warning! Time remaining for today's daily quest is only 12 hours. Please complete the quest and check in as soon as possible." The system voice chimed in his head. Li Xiao's eyes narrowed. He had been looking for a quiet place to settle down. Since this Qi City was completely free of the association's rule, did it not fit his needs perfectly? Living in a real city was definitely a major upgrade from hiding out in deep mountains and dense forests. "This Qi City you mentioned, how far is it?" Li Xiao asked. "It is about 10 kilometers, not too far." Recognizing a fellow Esper, Xu Ming answered honestly. 10 kilometers. That was practically right next door. This closeness explained how an A-class Esper like Xu Ming could patrol this area, and Li Xiao wasted no time in announcing his plans to relocate to Qi City permanently. Xu Ming and his crew froze in shock. Then, pure, unfiltered excitement lit up every single one of their faces. Unlike the association, Qi City lacked heavy hitters. Even now, they constantly battled sudden, brutal onslaughts from smaller beast hordes. They had one double S-class Esper, but holding the line against those monsters was still a brutal, exhausting fight every time. The only saving grace was their size. Being small meant they had not attracted triple S-class beast kings yet. Otherwise, the city would have been wiped off the map long ago. But now, a powerhouse who was at least S-class, maybe even double S, wanted to move in. This was a massive miracle for them. "Are you serious?" Xu Ming asked, holding his breath, terrified this was some cruel joke. "Do I look like I am playing around?" Li Xiao replied calmly. Xu Ming practically vibrated with excitement, then let us head back immediately. "I know a safe path. Follow me." Xu Ming gestured toward the city, planning a detour to sneak past the roaming monsters. Li Xiao stared at him, absolutely dumbfounded by the suggestion. You are telling a triple S-class Esper to sneak around a few monsters? Even the ultimate beast kings did not get that kind of respect from him. No need for that. Just point me straight toward Qi City. I will take us right through. Xu Ming stood frozen, utterly failing to grasp the staggering level of power hidden behind those simple words. But their chat had kept them in one spot for too long. Out of nowhere, deep, guttural growls began echoing from the surrounding brush. Several mutated beasts, massive creatures towering stories high and radiating pure malice, slowly closed in. Class 3, A-class beasts. Xu Ming's face went pale. Behind him, the rest of his squad instantly reached for their weapons, tensing up. But a split second later, a suffocating, terrifying wave of Esper energy erupted from Li Xiao. The crushing pressure was so intense that both the human squad and the three monsters instantly froze solid. Then, with absolute indifference, Li Xiao simply made a gentle squeezing motion with his hand. Without a shred of resistance, those three massive beasts violently exploded into tiny pieces. 5 years ago, before the monsters descended, Qi City was a thriving, massive metropolis. But today, its living zone had shriveled to barely 1/3 of its former size. The other 2/3 had long since been smashed into rubble by relentless waves of beast hordes. Compared to the grand, high-tech fortresses of the Esper Association, the outer walls defending Qi City were crumbling and desperately patched together. On top of those battlements, a weary squad of defenders stared into the gray horizon, waiting for the next onslaught. This endless meat grinder, when is it ever going to stop? One guard muttered, hollow-eyed. Just 12 hours ago, they had barely managed to push back another wave of monsters. Unlike the mighty Esper Association with its endless legions of warriors, Qi City was running on empty. Most of their defenders had abandoned them long ago for the safety of the association. The few who stayed behind did it for one reason: their families were completely ordinary, powerless humans. And in a world crawling with monsters, expecting normal people to safely travel hundreds of miles to the association was a death sentence. So they stayed behind to guard Qi City and protect their families. But over the years, every single beast horde attack took a brutal toll, leaving fewer and fewer Espers alive. By now, the number of battle-ready Espers was shrinking to a dangerous few. Maybe one day, Qi City would end up ruined, just like countless others before it. Once their last warrior died, the city would fall and everyone would perish. If only Qi City had a legendary, powerhouse Esper on their side, like the great Lord Li Xiao. Imagine how great that would be. An Esper on the ruined wall couldn't help but dream. Even though the beast invasion made talking to other cities nearly impossible, rumors still trickled in. Years ago, the Esper Association wasn't this huge, and they didn't unite so many cities. They were just as overwhelmed by the hordes back then. But everything changed when the world's only triple S-class Esper, Li Xiao, fought for the association and wiped out entire armies of beasts. Thanks to that victory, countless civilians and Espers flocked to the association, eventually building a massive, thriving metropolis. But the guard's eyes quickly grew dim. It was all just a hopeless fantasy. He wasn't strong himself, but he knew how rare a double S-class was. In fact, the absolute strongest protector in all of Qi City was only a double S-class. Reaching triple S-class felt like a pipe dream. If it were easy, their entire city wouldn't be struggling so hard just to survive. Only a true triple S-class Esper could stand against the terrifying beast kings leading those hordes. Letting out a heavy sigh, the guard quickened his pace to catch up with his patrol squad. They were walking the crumbling ramparts when, out of nowhere, an unbelievably oppressive energy swept over them from beyond the city walls. Far out in the sky, a tiny black speck appeared, rapidly growing larger as it closed in at impossible speed. The guard's eyes went wide. All along the battlements, seasoned fighters began to panic. That crushing pressure was like nothing they had ever felt of Beast King. But then, the terror vanished. Right then, a figure materialized directly on the wall, Lord Chen Xuan. The moment he appeared, the guards immediately felt a surge of hope. "Don't panic," Chen Xuan said, trying to calm them down. The surrounding guards kept their eyes locked on the approaching threat. Within seconds, that flying speck became clearer and clearer. But then, they realized something shocking: that flying dot was not a beast at all. It was a human, and he was carrying several people. Someone on the wall gasped, recognizing them. It's Xu Qing and his team. An instant later, the figure carrying them touched down on the wall, moving faster than the eye could follow. "So this is Qi City," Li Xiao said, setting Xu Qing and the others down. Xu Qing and his group looked incredibly pale. It sounded absurd, but as an A-class Esper, he was actually motion sick from the sheer velocity of their flight. To cover that massive distance in just a few heartbeats, Xu Qing felt like he was dreaming. Now he understood why Li Xiao had told him to just point in a straight line. Normal A-class espers had to sneak around monsters to survive. But Li Xiao, he just obliterated every single beast that tried to block them, vaporizing them with a wave of his hand. Shu Qing shuddered at the memory. If he remembered right, some of those foolish beasts trying to ambush them were actually high-ranking S-class monsters. One of the guards called out, "Shu Qing, you're back? Who is this guy?" The patrolling guards rushed over to crowd around Shu Qing, eyeing this strange newcomer with deep suspicion. But in that tense moment, one person froze the second he recognized Li Xiao, his face twisting in absolute disbelief. It was Chen Xuan. He stared, whispering, "Are you really Lord Li Xiao?" He couldn't tear his eyes away from him. Even though talking between cities was almost impossible now, and communication gear was a heavily guarded secret, Chen Xuan, as Qi City's ultimate protector, had seen rare video archives of Li Xiao before. The surrounding guards stood frozen, completely shocked by their captain's reaction. Suddenly, everyone's jaws dropped in unison, especially the survivors standing right next to Li Xiao. The moment Chen Xuan spoke that name out loud, Shu Qing and his friends felt their minds go completely blank. The name Li Xiao might be a coincidence, but when the absolute strongest double S-class defender of Qi City referred to him with such deep respect, there was only one man in the entire world who could fit that description. The legendary Li Xiao. It was really him. Dozens of stunned eyes locked onto the quiet man standing before them. It felt like a wild dream. For years, the people of Qi City had prayed for someone like him to save them, and now, he was actually standing right there. "You know me?" Hearing Chen Xuan recognize him instantly, a flash of surprise crossed Li Xiao's eyes. Chen Xuan saw this and nodded with pure excitement. "I saw a video of you back when we were trading Beast Horde intel with the Esper Association. By the way, Lord Li Xiao, what brings you to Qi City today? Is there anything we local Espers can do for you?" As Chen Xuan asked, the patrolling Espers nearby immediately locked in with serious expressions. They looked like they would charge straight into the jaws of death at Li Xiao's slightest command. For 5 long years, Qi City had faced beast horde attacks of some size almost every single day. With every battle won, the Espers of Qi City realized just how incredibly valuable a triple S-class Esper like Li Xiao really was. Even though Li Xiao was an outsider, the quiet respect they had built up for him was just as deep as their devotion to Chen Xuan. Lord Chen Xuan, Lord Li Xiao isn't here on official business. He actually plans to settle down in Qi City long-term. Shu Qing quickly chimed in from the side. "What? Live in Qi City?" The moment those words left Shu Qing's mouth, everyone, including Chen Xuan, stared in absolute shock. They jumped to their feet, completely overwhelmed with excitement. Adrenaline surged, blood rushing to their faces as their cheeks flushed a bright, excited red. Li Xiao, the only triple S-class Esper on Earth, wants to live in Qi City? Am I dreaming? Is this real? It doesn't feel like a dream. This is actually happening. Why did you punch me? Punch yourself. Wait, Lord Li Xiao, you seriously want to make Qi City your home? Will the Esper Association even allow that? Amid the chaos, Chen Xuan slowly sobered up. He looked at Li Xiao and asked the question. At the mention of the Esper Association, the smile slowly vanished from Li Xiao's face. He slowly shook his head. "I am no longer a member of the Esper Association." "Not a member?" Chen Xuan stared, struggling to process what he just heard. Li Xiao, however, had no intention of hiding the truth. He spoke calmly, explaining that the Esper Association had officially kicked him out. Meanwhile, down at the foot of the ruined city wall, an Esper from inside Qi City was sprinting up the stone steps in a panic. He clutched a printed notice, looking utterly breathless, as he cried out to Chen Xuan that they had just received a message. The document announced that the Esper Association had officially removed Lord Li Xiao from their ranks. What on earth are those fools at headquarters thinking? How could they actually throw Lord Li Xiao out? If Lord Li Xiao hadn't saved them back then, the Esper Association would be struggling in ruins just like us, desperately fighting off endless beast hordes. It's completely absurd. Just because of 500 casualties, they completely erased his years of sacrifice. They probably just trained some new Triple S class replacements, and now they are happily burning the bridge after Lord Li Xiao carried them across. Once they finished reading the entire official statement from the association, Chen Xuan and the guards were absolutely furious. They loudly protested the injustice done to Li Xiao, with Chen Xuan leading the charge. Think about it. Chen Xuan had defended Qi City for years. If some new double S-class rookie showed up and rallied everyone to kick him out, he would lose his mind, too. Yet Li Xiao stood before him, completely and inexplicably calm. Chen Xuan had to ask Lord Li Xiao, "Aren't you angry?" Li Xiao looked at their angry faces, feeling a bitter wave of irony. The city he had protected for 5 years had turned on him in an instant. Yet here, in this foreign city, these strangers who had never once received his protection were fighting for him. He quietly shook his head. From this moment on, I want absolutely nothing to do with that association. Right now, I just want to find a quiet place to settle down and live a normal life. I understand, Chen Xuan said, nodding in deep sympathy. He spoke with deep sincerity, telling Lord Li Xiao that he could stay in Qi City forever. From now on, this is your new home. Others instantly agreed. Lord Li Xiao, we would never turn our backs on you like those ungrateful cowards at the association. Shu Qing and the other guards nodded in agreement, staring at the legend with pure respect. Thanks, Li Xiao murmured, nodding back. Once they finalized the arrangements for his permanent stay in Qi City, the group finally made their way down from the defensive wall. Since Shu Qing was the one who brought him here, Chen Xuan trusted Shu Qing to arrange the new housing. With Li Xiao and the others headed inside, his presence alone began to shift the mood. The weary guards felt a sudden surge of renewed energy, their exhaustion vanishing in an instant. They were thrilled, knowing they had won a legend. Unlike other places packed with espers, Qi City was raw and tense, constantly battered by vicious beast horde attacks. Every building here was worn down and ancient, showing the scars of life before the beasts first descended. You won't find flashy decorations here, zero luxury. Instead, the whole city lived on high alert. Even regular folks without any special powers worked tirelessly every single day, just to keep the frontline espers supplied. Li Xiao and Shu Qing made their way down the quiet streets. Nobody recognized Li Xiao, but the moment locals spotted Shu Qing, they bowed with deep, quiet respect. This respect didn't come from fear of an esper's power, it was pure, heartfelt gratitude. Watching them, Li Xiao realized how different this place was from Star City, home of the corrupt Esper Association. It was a whole other world. Shu Qing gestured to a nearby property. Lord Li Xiao, what do you think of this courtyard? It's been abandoned, but everything still works. It just needs a little dusting to be livable. Since Li Xiao wanted privacy, Shu Qing had purposefully chosen this quiet, secluded spot. Li Xiao quietly looked over the fenced yard right in front of him. The place looked like a cozy, old-school farmhouse from the days before the monsters arrived. Besides the modest house, the front yard offered an absolute ton of open space. There was plenty of room to grow fresh crops or raise some chickens. Li Xiao smiled, saying it was perfect and he was happy with it. Seeing that warm expression, Shu Qing finally let out a breath and relaxed. He beamed, declaring that from this moment on, the courtyard was officially Lord Li Xiao's new home. He offered to send cleaners over right away. But then, a system prompt chimed in his mind. Daily quest completed. You have received a Tier 8 Esper Enhancement Fruit. A new quest has unlocked. By letting go of your burdens and trying your best, you have secured a quiet place to rest, a cozy little courtyard. Because this property has been empty for years, it is currently buried under thick dust and clutter. Clean the entire area by hand without using any of your Esper powers. Rewards include a mutated tree sapling and rare, power-enhancing vegetable seeds. Reading the sudden notification, Li Xiao couldn't help but laugh to himself. This system's quests were surprisingly ordinary. He practically had to sweep up the place using his own two hands, with zero cheat powers allowed. But when he actually stopped to think about it, some quiet manual labor was exactly what he wanted. Li Xiao told him he would handle the cleaning himself, no need to bother anyone else. Hearing that, Shu Qing didn't argue. They chatted for a few more minutes, and once Shu Qing was sure the young man was set, he said goodbye. Before leaving, Shu Qing thoughtfully grabbed a few basic cleaning tools for him. Watching the young man walk away, Li Xiao grabbed the simple broom and began sweeping the dusty yard. As night fell over Chen Xuan's residence, the leader saw Shu Qing arrive to report. He immediately stood up, anxiously asking how things had gone with Lord Li Xiao, unable to hide his nervous anticipation. Even without the young man there, Chen Xuan instinctively kept using the title Lord. This was his sign of ultimate respect for the world's first triple S-class Esper. Shu Qing carefully went over every detail of their afternoon, right down to the quiet courtyard Li Xiao had selected. Hearing that the powerhouse was pleased with the setup, Chen Xuan finally let out a massive sigh of relief. A genuine, relaxed smile finally broke across the leader's face, a sight nobody had seen in ages. Even though their legendary guest had barely been in town for half a day, something about his presence made Chen Xuan feel lighter and more at ease than he could remember. It was a peace he had not felt in 5 long years, because when the sky falls, the strongest must hold it up. Before today, Chen Xuan was the one holding up the sky here. Every single day was a battle against constant monster attacks, leaving him under a crushing weight no normal person could survive. But now, they had Li Xiao, a warrior far stronger than himself. Chen Xuan's smile faded as he looked at the young man, his voice turning deadly serious. He told Xu Qing to look after their guests constantly and make sure every single need was met. When asked if he could handle it, Xu Qing nodded with a solemn expression, promising his leader not to worry. Even if it cost him his life, he swore he would do everything possible to satisfy the legendary hero. After 5 painful years of fighting monsters, they both knew exactly what a top-tier protector meant to a dying city. If keeping Li Xiao here meant giving up his own life on the spot, Xu Qing wouldn't hesitate for a single second. The arrogant Esper Association was foolish enough to throw their greatest weapon away, but Qi City was far smarter than that. A sudden notification chimed, "Congratulations, host. You have successfully cleaned your new home." A mutated tree sapling and random Esper-enhancing vegetable seeds were just issued. Once weed-infested and dusty, the courtyard was now completely refreshed under Li Xiao's hands. Li Xiao dragged a stool outside and sat right by the courtyard gate. Even though this place was secluded, a few ordinary residents of Qi City still scattered past now and then. They were pretty curious about their brand-new neighbor, Li Xiao. He just moved into the courtyard today, but since everyone had their own business to handle, nobody came over to chat. An Esper enhancement fruit. Sitting at the gate, Li Xiao remembered something and summoned it with a thought. Instantly, a fist-sized fruit glowing with a silver and gold light materialized right in his palm. As soon as it appeared, his Esper energy, already sitting at the Tier 8 double S class level, started to fluctuate wildly. His power seemed absolutely starving for the fruit in his hand. Li Xiao caught the sweet, rich aroma wafting from the Esper enhancement fruit. It felt almost unreal, but the stubborn bottleneck holding him back for years actually started to loosen. Could just smelling it really be this effective? If he actually took a bite, wouldn't his power absolutely skyrocket? Without waiting another second, Li Xiao took a huge bite of the fruit. Sweet juice burst across his tongue, and his eyes lit up instantly. The incredible sweetness practically made his taste buds explode with pure joy. His mind cleared up completely. It was hard to believe one little piece of fruit could do this, but there was something even better. Once he swallowed it, his internal Esper energy began to surge like a roaring river coursing through his veins. As it rushed through him, Li Xiao's Esper power, which had been stuck for so long, started climbing again. This was awesome. This ability enhancement fruit was absolutely badass. Unable to resist the temptation, he devoured the rest of the ability enhancement fruit in a few quick bites. A long moment later, Li Xiao opened his eyes, a look of pure joy written across his face. Just one fruit had boosted his Esper energy by 10% compared to before. If he ate a few more, his strength would go off the charts. He might finally shatter the barrier holding him back and become a supreme triple S-tier Esper. Sure, he was already incredibly strong, but who in their right mind wouldn't want more power? Grinning, Li Xiao pulled out another ability enhancement fruit and inhaled it in just a few bites. A moment later, Li Xiao scanned the energy surging inside him. This time, he frowned slightly. Compared to before, his power only climbed by 8% this time. Well, that makes sense. Even coming from the system, this fruit is a rare, heavenly treasure. His body was bound to build up a tolerance. It gave him 8% this time, but the return would keep dropping. Eat too many, and this enhancement fruit would pretty much do nothing for him. Seems like he needs to let his tolerance cool down before eating another one. That way, he would get the maximum effect. Li Xiao reminded himself that the fruit was amazing, but greed would only ruin it. Congrats on resisting temptation, host. Your reward is an extra daily quest. New quest generated. Lying around right after a heavy meal is a terrible habit. Those 2 ability enhancement fruits left you pretty stuffed, and you just remembered you still have some seeds and saplings waiting to be planted. You must plant them by hand, entirely alone, without using any of your Esper abilities. The reward? The Heavenly Hound Esper ability. Li Xiao stared at this new quest in complete surprise. He had planned to just wait until tomorrow to put those seeds and saplings in the dirt. Who knew eating a couple of fruits would trigger a gardening chore? And he could not even use his powers for it. Well, he would just treat it as a way to digest his food, he muttered, grabbing a hoe from the courtyard shed. He took a quick look around the courtyard. After thinking it over, Li Xiao decided to plant the 3 saplings on the north side, putting the Esper vegetable seeds in a small plot to the south. A deep sense of peace washed over him. Without even realizing it, his very first day away from the Esper Association had completely turned his old life upside down. No more wasting every single day figuring out how to survive the constant beast hordes. As for who had to worry about those monsters now, that was the association's problem. Meanwhile, night fell. 100 miles away from Xingcheng, at a monster nesting ground, a massive white-winged tiger stood tall under the bright moonlight. Beside the white-winged tiger, a 100-foot black python coiled itself. These were the same 2 triple S-tier beast kings who saw Li Xiao leave Xingcheng. After the 2 beast kings spent a full day summoning right in front of them, Countless terrifying beasts of all shapes and sizes had finally gathered. If anyone were looking down from the sky right now, they would be absolutely horrified. The sheer number of beasts in this massive horde completely shattered all previous records. There were tens of thousands, maybe even more. Looking at that massive horde, all you would see is a dense black ocean stretching as far as the eye could see. Deafening, terrifying roars shook the air from the massive horde. Hidden in that roaring, you could easily tell there were plenty of S-tier and even double S-tier beasts. Right then, an incredibly fierce and terrifying tiger roar echoed through the air. The howling horde instantly fell dead silent. Every single beast prostrated itself on the ground, remaining completely motionless. The terrifying pressure of a double S-tier beast king kept them from showing even the slightest disrespect. And there was not just one triple S-tier beast king here. There were two. I do not know if our numbers are enough this time, but enough or not, we must seize this opportunity. Even if this is a trap set by that human Li Xiao, we still have to take this chance. Otherwise, with more powerful espers rising among the humans, wiping out the Esper Association will only get harder. The white-winged tiger let out another wild roar before its massive 100-foot body leaped into the air. The black python beside it slithered up as well, moving ahead of the horde and charging forward. Their target this time was the exact home of the Esper Association, Qicheng. It was a sleepless night. Countless stampeding beasts tore through and ruined small cities like Qicheng. Every Esper was jolted awake. Even from a massive distance, those in the smaller cities could feel the ground trembling beneath their feet. Looking out from the city walls, they could clearly see a massive black wave of a beast horde gathering and marching in one direction. Inside those small cities, the local espers felt their hearts pounding in sheer terror. If a terrifying army like that headed their way, it would wipe their entire home off the map in a second. Luckily, after a tense wait, the stampeding horde just brushed right past their cities without stopping. Back in Qicheng, Li Xiao woke up too. He stared out at the street just beyond his quiet courtyard. Despite it being the dead of night, the streets were lit bright as day. People were anxiously rushing toward the Qicheng city walls. Watching the chaos outside, Li Xiao could feel the pulsing Esper energy from everyone running toward the defensive lines. Li Xiao's expression did not change. He already had a pretty good guess. In the blink of an eye, he vanished from his yard and reappeared right on top of the city wall. There were far more espers on the wall now than when he visited during the day. It seemed like every active fighter in Qicheng was standing guard tonight. Li Xiao easily spotted Chen Xuan in the crowd, his face heavy with dread. As Qicheng's guardian esper, he naturally kept track of the massive beast riot happening tonight. Yuncheng was the first to spot the stampede. It is a small city about the same size as Qicheng, sitting 30 kilometers to the west. The moment they realized what was happening, Yuncheng blasted warnings to nearby cities. Li Xiao walked up. What is wrong? A new beast horde? His voice pulled Chen Xuan out of his deep thoughts. Hearing the question, the guardian nodded, but then slowly shook his head in worry. It is a horde, but Qicheng is not the target. Like other small towns, we are only seeing a few scattered stragglers. Their real target seems to be Xingcheng. Chen Xuan looked at Li Xiao and spoke with a heavy, serious tone. The reports from Yunqing say this beast horde is far more terrifying than anything we have ever faced. Even Xingcheng, with all its elite association espers, might actually get wiped out. Xingcheng, huh. Understood. Hearing Chen Xuan's grim words, Li Xiao simply nodded without a single change in his expression. Xingcheng and the Esper Association were no longer his concern. There was absolutely no reason to look into it any further. Sensing Li Xiao's cold reaction, Chen Xuan understood where he stood and did not press the matter of Xingcheng. After all, Chen Xuan knew full well that the Esper Association had run Li Xiao out. Putting himself in the man's shoes, Chen Xuan figured he would not care about Xingcheng's survival either. Right after Li Xiao got exiled, a massive horde goes after his former home. Talk about looking for a death wish, Chen Xuan thought to himself. Meanwhile, way off in the distance, a few stray beasts were charging toward Qicheng. They were closing in fast. Chen Xuan forced himself to focus, readying his squad of espers to step up and intercept the incoming threat. But before Chen Xuan could even take a step, Li Xiao's own esper energy erupted with terrifying force, dwarfing his own power as it instantly blanketed every corner of Qicheng. Chen Xuan looked at Li Xiao, his chest tightening with pure dread. There was supposed to be only one level between double S and triple S. Sure, their realms were only one tier apart, but feeling the devastating pressure of Li Xiao's energy up close completely shattered that comforting illusion. He finally understood that if a double S tier like him ever fought Li Xiao, he would be dead before he could even register the first blow. Was this really the true power of a triple S tier? Chen Xuan was absolutely terrified. Little did he know, Li Xiao was no longer just some ordinary triple S tier esper. His raw power had already left the standard triple S rank in the dust long ago, and after eating those two ability enhancement fruits just a moment earlier, his strength had reached a godlike level. Now, even if he had to take on 2 or 3 Beast Kings at once, he could easily wipe them out. Meanwhile, 1,000 meters outside Chi-Cheng's massive walls, every single charging beast, no matter how strong, suddenly froze dead in their tracks. Under the crushing weight of Li Xiao's aura, their bodies suddenly popped like balloons. Not a single bone was left behind. Chen Xuan's eyelids twitched violently at the sight. Up on the battlements, the Chi-Cheng espers who were ready to jump into battle stood completely paralyzed in shock. A few of them even had one foot dangling over the edge, unsure if they should still leap down. They couldn't help but wonder what the hell just happened. They hadn't even moved, yet every single beast was already dead. Did Lord Chen Xuan do that? Since when did he have the power to obliterate an entire horde from a kilometer away? The espers on the wall slowly snapped out of it, their voices filled with absolute wonder. Chen Xuan's face turned red as he cleared his throat. If he were actually that powerful, would he be struggling so hard to protect Keqing every single day? He would have run out long ago and wiped every single beast off the map. Fortunately, a few people on the wall knew Li Xiao was there. The elite fighters who saw Li Xiao earlier quickly realized he was the real hero here. They told the others to stop talking nonsense. It wasn't Chen Xuan, it was Lord Li Xiao. The crowd gasped. Did they mean the legendary Li Xiao had actually come to Keqing? They couldn't believe their ears, hoping it wasn't a dream. If Lord Li Xiao was really here, clearing a horde from a kilometer away made total sense. With someone that strong protecting Keqing, they would never have to live in fear again. The exhausted defenders who had just been dragged out of bed now looked completely overjoyed. Hearing his men praise Li Xiao, Chen Xuan didn't feel even a tiny shred of jealousy. Instead, watching him erase the beast wave with a mere thought brought Chen Xuan a massive sense of relief. At that moment, he had only one goal. He would do whatever it took to keep Li Xiao in Keqing forever. As word of his arrival spread among the local defenders, the entire military force of Keqing was absolutely electrified. Even though most of the Keqing defenders hadn't actually seen his face yet, they all knew the legends. In a split second, the heavy cloud of gloom and despair that had been hanging over Keqing simply vanished into thin air. Slowly, the crowd shifted their eyes toward the high wall where Li Xiao stood. Nobody dared to make a sound, doing their best to swallow the pure excitement. Meanwhile, after easily wiping out the stray beasts heading for Keqing, Li Xiao kept his eyes locked on the horizon. He stared into the distance, tracking the massive ocean of monsters moving towards Xingchang. The horde was drifting further away, but its staggering scale actually made him pause in surprise. If that many monsters struck Xingchang, even with his massive power, clearing them out would be a real headache. And if a triple S-tier Beast King was hiding among them, wait. Li Xiao's eyes narrowed as the raw energy inside him began to stir. A sharp light flashed in Li Xiao's eyes as he focused entirely on the massive army marching in the distance. A quick glance earlier hadn't shown anything odd. But now, expanding his senses to scan them carefully, he realized something deeply unsettling about the pack. 2 energy signatures stood out, dwarfing all other beasts in the horde by a massive margin. They lurked inside the stampede, masquerading as just ordinary beasts, just basic mutant beasts. Honestly, if Li Xiao had not just gotten that massive power boost from so far away, he probably would have missed them completely. Li Xiao narrowed his eyes. It could have been an illusion, but he could not shake the feeling that those 2 mutant auras felt incredibly familiar. They felt exactly like the 2 double S-rank Beast Kings he had battled so many times before. If they had not teamed up to overwhelm Li Xiao with sheer numbers, he would have killed at least one of them by now. But now, those 2 Beast Kings were crawling toward Jing City, hiding inside the massive horde. What are they plotting? Li Xiao wondered. But he quickly shook his head and pulled his thoughts back. Whatever happened to Jing City was not his problem anymore. He had walked away from the Esper Association, so it was not his place to meddle in their business. The image of a beautiful girl came to mind. When everyone else turned their backs on him, she was the only one who stood by him. If there was a single person left in that association he actually cared about, it was Ye Xiu. Since I am settled down in Qi City, I should probably send this news to Ye Xiu. That way, if she ever looks for me, she will not be left in the dark. Li Xiao turned to Chen Xuan and asked for a favor. As the guardian of Qi City, reaching out to other areas was easy for him. Chen Xuan did not hesitate. He nodded immediately, saying, "Do not worry, Lord Li Xiao, I will send the message to Xing City right away. It should not take long at all. That Esper, Yi Shui, will soon know you are here in Qie City." "Thanks a lot," Li Xiao said, nodding in gratitude. Since Li Xiao had effortlessly wiped out that smaller horde, the Espers gathered on the walls of Qi City did not linger. Except for the squads stationed on guard duty, the rest of the fighters headed back inside the safety of the city. Meanwhile, over in Xing City, inside the top-floor conference room of the Esper Association, a panicked worker burst in, shouting that something terrible had happened. The frantic staff member rushed up to the table. Inside, Qin Wan Xiao, Ying Xuan, and the other triple S rank espers were seated around the table. Ever since Li Xiao left, the power he once held had been split between Ying Xuan and the other two leaders. Watching the panicked worker rush in, Qin Wan Xiao frowned and told him to calm down and explain. The staff member took a deep breath and quickly explained that they had just received a terrifying report. A massive beast horde is heading straight for Sing City, with at least 10,000 mutant beasts. After delivering the news, a wave of pure panic washed over the worker's face. 10,000 mutant beasts. A stampede of this scale was incredibly rare these days. 10,000. Hearing that number, Qin Wan Xiao and the others saw their expressions shift slightly. Do we have any data on how many high-level mutants are leading the pack? Reports say there are no double S-rank Beast Kings spotted yet, but there are at least 10 double S-rank mutants and 30 S-rank ones. As for anything below S-rank, there are just too many to count, the frantic staff member quickly added. Hearing this, the sharp tension in Qin Wushuang's gaze actually relaxed all of a sudden. No sign of a double S-class Beast King. If a Beast King was actually lurking in this tide of nearly 10,000, the Esper Association would have to seriously worry about how to stop it. But as it turns out, there is not a single double S-class Beast King in this tide. That changes everything. For Espers, each rank up means a massive power gap of at least 10 times. A tide of tens of thousands of beasts might look terrifying, but in reality, with Ying Xuan and our other two triple S-class Espers stepping in, the three of them can easily block most of the horde. As for the rest, our association has plenty of S-class and double S-class Espers. Repelling this wave will be incredibly easy. Why are you panicking? It is just a beast tide. Do you think the three of us triple S-class Espers are just here for show? Ying Xuan spoke calmly, looking directly at the staff member who had just delivered the warning. Hearing this, the workers' intense anxiety began to fade. Honestly, that made complete sense. Even though they kicked Li Xiao out of the Esper Association, they still had plenty of triple S-class and S-class protectors. 3 of them, to be exact. Crushing this incoming beast tide should be an absolute breeze. In fact, it was the perfect opportunity to show off. Word of Li Xiao getting kicked out of the association spread fast. It even sparked backlash from folks in the smaller cities. They think we're just tossing him aside now that we're safe. But with this beast tide coming, we want to prove we do not even need Li Xiao anymore. The Esper Association can easily obliterate any monster swarm. This time, we aren't just repelling the threat, we are going to live stream the entire battle. Qin Wan Xiao suddenly stood up from the conference table. He announced that by broadcasting this defense live, they would prove to the world that without Li Xiao, the association has an even easier time handling these threats. As he finished speaking, Qin Wan Xiao turned his gaze toward Yin Xuan and the other two. Even though they were now triple S-class Espers, Star City had been quiet with almost no beast tides lately. And whenever beasts did show up, Li Xiao casually handled them alone. He never even gave Yin Xuan and the others a single chance to fight, but this time is different. With Li Xiao out of the picture, this incoming beast tide will show everyone that the association's own triple S-class Espers are not any weaker than him. In fact, the combined power of Yin Xuan's trio will completely eclipse him. A gleam of excitement flashed in the eyes of the young prodigies. They understood Qin Wan Xiao's intentions perfectly. Yin Xuan told him not to worry, they would easily deliver a massive, crushing victory. With those reassuring words, I can finally rest easy. Qin Wan Xiao laughed out loud. Even if Yin Xuan's team had only recently reached triple S-class and were individually a bit weaker than Li Xiao, they were still top-tier Espers. The actual power gap was pretty small. Having 3 of them was more than enough to easily make up for any gap. By the way, is the arrival time of the beast tide confirmed? Qin Wan Xiao suddenly asked, checking the details. Based on the movement speed of the beast tide, it will arrive in about half a day. Half a day is plenty of time for us to prepare. Nodding, the president listened as the staff member brought up one more detail. Now that the urgent matter of the beast tide was reported, the staff member finally relaxed a bit. Then, remembering something else, he spoke up. While intercepting reports about the beast tide from other regions, our system picked up a private transmission. It was from Chen Xuan, the guardian of Qicheng, sent to Miss Yishu. It seems to be about Li Xiao. He was not sure if he should forward this message to Miss Yishu, especially since communication between cities is so incredibly difficult now. But top-tier double S-class Espers like Yushu still maintain their own private channels. Usually, interfering with an Esper's private life was not something the association did, but this was different. The message specifically mentioned Li Xiao, and since he is currently under heavy scrutiny by the association, the transmission was naturally flagged and held. Hearing that Chen Xuan from Qi Cheng was involved, Qin Wan Xiao frowned. As far as he could remember, Yi Shu and Chen Xuan had no connection at all. He demanded to know what the message actually said. The staff member pulled a slip of paper from his pocket, which contained the newly transcribed message. Qin Wan Xiao grabbed the note and skimmed it, his expression instantly turning ice cold. Li Xiao already abandoned the association, yet he still has the nerve to try poaching my people. I never expected Chen Xuan from Qi Cheng to get mixed up with him. The lines transcribed on that slip of paper were the exact message Chen Xuan had sent to Yishu, reporting that Li Xiao was currently in Qi Cheng, and that if she wanted to, she could go there to find him. When asked what to do with the note, Qin Wan Xiao ripped it up. He told them to ignore it and act like nothing happened. Then, he ordered them to alert their fighters about the incoming monsters. Tell them to prepare. He was not about to let Li Xiao steal his best people so easily. Acknowledging the order, the staff member carefully stepped out of the meeting room. The Esper Association moved incredibly fast. The moment they learned the Beast Tide was about to reach Star City, the news was immediately broadcasted. This warning immediately reached all the active Espers, and even the regular citizens of Star City were alerted to the approaching danger. Before long, everyone realized the scale of this incoming Beast Tide was going to be absolutely massive. The last major outbreak was about a year ago, right? I heard the association suffered some really heavy casualties back then. Why is a Beast Tide hitting right after Li Xiao left? Maybe we pushed him away a bit too far. As news of the Beast Tide spread, panic instantly gripped the residents of Star City. Looking at the sheer scale of the threat, the more faint-hearted citizens actually started to regret kicking Li Xiao out so fast. If they had just let him stay inside Star City, having a triple S-class Esper on their side would make surviving this monster tide a breeze. But the regret did not last long as louder, angrier voices shut them down. What is wrong with kicking Li Xiao out? Honestly, I wish he had left us sooner. He is just an arrogant, lazy triple S-class Esper who only joined the association for the free perks. Good riddance to him. Even without Li Xiao, Star City still has 3 double S-class Espers. How bad could it really get? Exactly. Even with Li Xiao gone, our association still has 3 double S-class heroes. And now they are all triple S-class. Is Lord Ying Xuan's team really worse than Li Xiao? It is only because President Qin is too soft-hearted that he did not punish him back then. If Lord Ying Xuan and the other 2 double S-class warriors had teamed up, Li Xiao never would have escaped his punishment. With Lord Ying Xuan and his team guarding the walls, no monster tide on Earth can touch Star City. I heard the Horde arrives this afternoon, and the association is actually going to live stream the whole fight. When the stream starts, we will get a front row seat to watch Lord Ying Xuan wipe these beasts out. The locals were practically buzzing with excitement. To them, there was no comparison between Li Xiao and Ying Xuan's team of triple S-class Espers. In their eyes, 3 elite champions were obviously way better than just one rogue fighter. Sure, Li Xiao used to hold off those triple S-class Beast Kings all by himself, but now they had 3 double S-class champions. That was literally 3 times the force, so nobody believed this tide was a real threat. Soon, the worried frowns across Star City turned into confident smiles. All the anxiety about the oncoming horde seemed to melt away in an instant. Groups of people even started gathering at local shops, stocking up on snacks and fresh fruit. They were treating it like a movie premiere, just waiting to watch the broadcast of their heroes crushing the horde. The association's massive promo stream was not just a big deal in Huaxia Star City, either. Smaller surrounding cities also caught wind of the upcoming broadcast. Half a day quietly slipped by. Once the stream officially started, citizens glued their eyes to their phones and the massive public screens downtown. Right at the edge of the towering city walls, countless defenders stood tall in the wind. They were the brave warriors deployed by the association, with 3 elite figures standing at the absolute front. As soon as the viewers saw those 3 leaders, their eyes lit up with absolute pride and admiration. These 3 were the absolute powerhouse double S-class heroes of Star City: Ying Xuan, Wang Kong, and Huang Shang. Even before rising to the legendary triple S-class, the trio had served as the association's elite double S-class defense force. But back then, since Li Xiao was the only triple S-class hero, he completely overshadowed them. Because of him, their fame among the locals was nothing like it is today. But with Li Xiao officially kicked out and all 3 of them reaching triple S-class, they were now the ultimate protectors of Star City. Beloved and worshipped by the masses, they watched as the horizon began to shake. Far away, the thunderous stampede of the horde vibrated through the soil. Watching the live broadcast, both the local citizens and the guards on the wall felt their faces go pale. Even on a small screen, They could tell the massive scale of the oncoming monster tide was terrifying. The tiny fraction shown on the broadcast was already vastly superior to anything they had faced recently. There were so many monsters out there, easily triple the usual size. A massive monster army of this magnitude last showed up around a couple of years ago. That previous disaster left the entire city heavily damaged, resulting in an absolute trail of complete destruction across the outer districts. Can Lord Ying Xuan and his team actually handle this? That exact question flashed through everyone's mind. But seeing Lord Ying Xuan and his fellow champions standing completely unbothered on the high wall helped to ease their mounting panic. As far as those three triple S-class defenders were concerned, they did not show a single trace of fear. In reality, even though the scale of this monster horde was massive, Ying Xuan and the other two triple S-class espers could already sense their exact strength from a distance. Just like the reports from other cities, there were no triple S-class beast kings here. Without a triple S-class beast king, a lower-level monster horde stood no chance of causing major destruction in front of them. Besides, even if a triple S-class beast king did show up, with three triple S-class espers on the scene, they could easily handle it. Meanwhile, the distant ground tremors grew increasingly violent. The beast horde, which first appeared as tiny black dots, rapidly grew larger. They were closing in on Star City fast. It is time to make a move before this horde gets too close and things become harder to handle. Ying Xuan and the other two looked indifferently at the approaching monster horde. In the next moment, a terrifying esper pressure erupted from Ying Xuan. Pale blue flames enveloped his body as he blasted straight into the sky. Those terrifying pale blue flames blazed fiercely, seemingly incinerating the very air around him. Then, a massive wave of pale blue flames centered around Ying Xuan crashed violently down toward the horde. Like a miniature bomb detonating, the towering explosion blasted countless mutated beasts straight into the air. Agonizing howls from countless low-tier beasts filled the air. They were massive, with even the smallest being over 12 meters long. Yet in front of the triple S-class esper Ying Xuan, a single strike caused devastating casualties. Even the slightly stronger double S-class and S-class beasts felt sheer terror, slowing their desperate charge. Watching the live stream, countless residents of Star City witnessed this incredible scene. Their eyes lit up with fanatical excitement as they roared about his incredible power. Lord Ying Xuan really is a true triple S-class esper. I knew my previous worries were completely and utterly pointless. With Lord Ying Xuan protecting us, why would we ever worry about some monster horde? Honestly, it looks like Lord Ying Xuan's strength is not inferior to Li Xiao's at all. It is hilarious that Li Xiao thought he could threaten the association. Even without him, they can easily block this horde. Countless residents cheered with pure excitement. Meanwhile, the espers at the edge of Star City were hyped up by Ying Xuan's display. Countless fighters followed his lead and unleashed their own attacks. Suddenly, a dazzling array of multicolored energy lights almost completely covered the edge of Star City. Even without looking at the live stream at that moment, residents could still see the blinding rays of light flashing before their eyes. It took a while for those dazzling multicolored lights to finally fade away. Led by Ying Xuan and the other two triple S-class espers, the defenders charged beyond the walls to face the horde. The association's elite espers displayed an absolutely crushing level of dominance. The massive beast tide could not even get within 1,000 meters of the city before being slaughtered. Earth-shattering roars of countless monsters echoed from deep within the massive tide. Several powerful beasts charged forward, attempting to rip a massive gap through the association's defensive line. Unfortunately for them, the human forces had plenty of double S-class espers ready to match them. Even if Ying Xuan and the other triple S-class espers did not have time to personally deal with every single breakthrough attempt, those beasts were stopped dead in their tracks by the remaining double S-class espers on the defensive line. Watching the espers dominate the battlefield so easily, the residents of Star City grew ecstatic. Yet, absolutely nobody noticed two beasts at the very back of the massive horde acting quite strangely. Instead of charging forward recklessly like the rest of the horde, they remained hidden in the rear, making no moves at all. If Li Xiao were here right now, he would be shocked to see that these two monsters were actually the white-winged tiger and the black python. They were just shrunk down to a fraction of their normal size. That was how they stayed completely unnoticed, hidden deep inside the charging horde. Hidden at the very back of the horde, the shrunken white-winged tiger and black python cast their calculating gazes toward the beasts fighting the espers on the front lines. At the hands of Star City's defenders, the monster horde was currently suffering casualties at an incredibly terrifying rate. Yet, when it came to these massive losses, the two Beast Kings did not care in the slightest. To them, summoning another beast tide just took a little time. The real reason they had been hiding in the horde this whole time wasn't because they were afraid. They wanted the sheer numbers of the horde to wear down the combat strength of the espers. It looked like there were still 3 triple S-class espers left in Star City. But honestly, those 3 triple S-class espers were nothing to the 2 Beast Kings. They had only just reached that rank. They probably had not even mastered their abilities yet. They were barely worth mentioning. The only man they actually feared was Li Xiao. Without him, they would have summoned Horde and wiped Star City off the map years ago. Back then, it was precisely because of Li Xiao that the entire Beast Tide was held back single-handedly. Even when several Beast Kings teamed up, they still could not take him down. Even now, most of the other Beast Kings had completely given up on this prize called Star City and left. Only these 2 were still watching this place. And now, since Li Xiao really seemed to be gone, a sinister glint flashed in the eyes of the white-winged tiger and the black python. The massive beast tide had already been pounding Star City for a while now. Logically, if Li Xiao was going to make a move, he would have already struck them from both sides. Yet he still had not shown up, and they could not feel even a tiny trace of his energy. That could only mean one thing: Li Xiao was not in Star City. He had truly left. At the very least, he would not return anytime soon. This was their absolute best chance to strike. Even if they could not wipe out the city in one blow, leaving it in absolute ruins was definitely within reach. The massive white-winged tiger, which had been crouching at the very back of the horde, slowly stood up straight. Its fierce eyes swept over the espers fighting at the front before turning to look at the black python. "It is our turn to move." The black python nodded slightly. Its slit pupils locked on Ying Xuan and the other triple S-class espers tearing through the horde. Its forked tongue flicked out, dripping with a cold, sinister hunger. Just to test if Li Xiao was still around, those humans had slaughtered countless beasts right before their eyes. Now, it was their turn. Today, they would slaughter those fighters and crush the city. With those words, the black python prepared to launch into the sky and strike from the back of the horde. But just then, the white-winged tiger raised a paw to block its path, telling the serpent to wait while he went in first alone. The black python narrowed its cold, slit eyes, but immediately realized what the tiger was trying to do. That man, Li Xiao, was truly a monster with power that went far beyond ordinary triple S-class strength. If he had found some trick to completely hide his presence, even same-level beast kings like them would not notice him. That made perfect sense, so the snake agreed to back down. The black python coiled back down, fading into the rear of the tide, as the white-winged tiger nodded in approval. An instant later, the white-winged tiger's normal-sized frame began to swell up at an unbelievable speed. A wave of crushing esper energy exploded from the beast, instantly swallowing the entire battlefield. By then, the white-winged tiger had already grown back to its true size of hundreds of feet. Suddenly, every beast and esper on the field began to tremble under that massive pressure. This energy went far beyond any ordinary S-class or double S-class. It was a beast king. Sheer terror washed over the faces of the human fighters as they stared back toward the rear, where the giant beast now stood. Its terrifying 100-foot-tall frame towered over the monster horde, impossible to miss. At this very moment, the white-winged tiger was charging straight toward the frontline conflict at an absolutely terrifying speed. Over in the city, the sudden appearance of the giant beast was broadcast live to everyone. Even from so far away, the residents could easily recognize the monster, since beast kings were a rare and terrifying sight among the horde. Almost every single citizen of Star City had witnessed this nightmare tiger attack them before. But in the past, whenever the beast appeared, Li Xiao was always there to stand up and drive it back. But this time, Li Xiao was gone, and the people of Star City could not help but feel a cold wave of dread. But a moment later, people rallied. What is there to fear? It is only one Beast King, and we still have Lord Yingxuan and his team. How hard could it really be to kill it? Hearing those words, the panic that had gripped the citizens finally began to fade. Think about it, it was true. We are talking about 3 triple S-class espers after all. There was no way they could lose to a single Beast King of the same rank. And yet, this monster actually dared to show up alone. Li Xiao failed to finish it off before. Now, it is the perfect opportunity for Lord Yingxuan and his crew to step up and kill it. That would take the pressure off everyone else, too. Meanwhile, over at the edge of Star City, Yingxuan and the other 2 espers temporarily stopped wiping out the beast tide. The sudden arrival of the white-winged tiger forced them to pause. Right then, a sudden wave of confusion hit them. They had not sensed a triple S-class beast king anywhere in this massive horde until now. Just where did this white-winged tiger come from? But their confusion quickly faded. They traded glances, their shock instantly melting into pure, aggressive excitement. Unbelievable, a beast king actually showed up just to throw its life away. If that is what it wants, let us give it a quick death. Without another word, the 3 charged. They completely ignored the low-level beasts, locking all their focus onto the white-winged tiger. Massive waves of Esper energy exploded from Ying Xuan, Wang Kong, and Huang Sheng. When it came to slaughtering mutated beasts, they had zero intention of fighting fair. They immediately surrounded the white-winged tiger from all sides. Pure Esper energy radiated from their bodies. Led by Ying Xuan, a torrent of terrifying, pale blue flames blasted directly toward the white-winged tiger. Wang Kong and Huang Sheng did not hesitate, immediately launching their own strikes. Against the combined power of three triple S-class Espers, any other opponent would have been vaporized on the spot, leaving absolutely nothing behind. Yet, looking at the incoming onslaught, the white-winged tiger only showed pure, cold disdain. It slowly lifted its massive paw and casually swatted the oncoming attacks. Bang, bang, bang. Three muffled impacts echoed, and just like that, the beast effortlessly shattered the combined strikes of Ying Xuan and his crew as if they were nothing. Instantly, the entire battlefield went dead silent. It made no sense. Seeing their ultimate move get swatted away like a fly, Ying Xuan and his comrades froze, absolute shock written all over their faces. They were all triple S-class powerhouses. How on earth could this beast destroy their strikes so effortlessly? But before they could even process what was happening, the white-winged tiger's mocking eyes locked dead onto them. In a flash, the monster vanished and reappeared directly behind Wang Kong, one of the three triple S-class espers. Instantly, a heavy, suffocating dread washed over Wang Kong, triggering every survival instinct he had. He instantly channeled his esper energy, casting a massive crimson barrier right behind his back. This defense shield was over 10 meters thick, and it was not just a simple shield. The moment it materialized, furious red flames erupted across its surface, reinforced by Wang Kong's triple S-class power. If a double S-class or lower opponent attacked it, they could use every ounce of their strength and still never break through. They would likely just be blasted away by the shield's own raw power. Yet, as the creator of this crimson shield, Wang Kong did not feel the lingering dread in his chest ease up at all. If anything, with every passing millisecond, the overwhelming sense of doom only pressed down harder on him. Right on cue, the white-winged tiger's razor-sharp claws slashed straight toward that 10-meter-thick defense. To any normal human, a barrier of this size would look absolutely gargantuan. But keep in mind, as a triple S-class beast king, this white-winged tiger was hundreds of feet tall. Even though it was only attacking with a single claw, the scale of it was hard to comprehend. Under this terrifying, colossal claw, that 10-meter thick crimson barrier looked tiny, and Wang Kong behind it seemed like nothing more than a helpless ant. A moment later, the giant claw and the burning crimson barrier violently collided. Yet, there was no massive, earth-shattering explosion of Esper energy. When the claw met the barrier, it was like a hot knife, slicing through soft butter. No matter how thick that barrier was, it offered absolutely zero resistance, getting split clean down the middle. The red shield met the exact same fate. The monstrous claw sank deep into the barrier, silently carving right through the entire 10-meter defense. What sounded like a drawn-out struggle actually unfolded in less than a second. The white-winged tiger's giant claw shattered the crimson barrier, slicing straight for Wang Kong. But at the very least, the S and triple S-class Esper finally managed to react in the nick of time. Right as that massive claw ripped through the shield he had just put up, a burst of crimson energy finally exploded from his body, letting him throw himself out of the way. Even then, the raw energy pulsing off the tiger's claw made Wang Kong go completely pale. If he had been even a fraction of a second slower, those claws would have sliced him clean in half. It hit him then, Li Xiao had been fighting these terrifying monsters all this time. Hadn't everyone said the gap between triple S-class fighters was supposed to be tiny? Nearby, Ying Xuan and Huang Sheng's faces turned pretty grim too. That attack hadn't even been aimed at them, but all three of these guys had only recently become triple S-class espers. Their power levels were basically identical. And yet, against this beast, Wang Kong had barely escaped by the absolute skin of his teeth. If they had been in his shoes, they probably wouldn't have done any better. That single blow from the tiger had completely stunned them. All three triple S-class espers stood frozen, not daring to move. But nobody else in the crowd had even noticed the deadly crisis that had just unfolded right in front of them, especially the ordinary residents of Star City. They only saw their three top espers scatter after a brief clash with the Tiger Beast King. They had absolutely no idea how close to death their heroes had just come. Because of that, the crowd was starting to get pretty confused. Deep down, people still believed that numbers would always win in a fight. Sure, espers were incredibly powerful, but if you put them up against someone of the same level, there was no way a single fighter could take on two opponents of equal strength, right? And here, they had three of them. People started whispering, why aren't Lord Ying Xuan and the others moving? That Beast King basically just came here to throw its life away. With their combined strength, If they all attack together, that monster definitely won't make it out of here alive. Lord Ying Xuan, hurry up and slay that beast king. Bring glory back to Star City. Some shouted excitedly, trying to make sure the fighters could hear them. They yelled, Ying Xuan, what are you three just standing around for? Hurry up and attack. Finish that beast king off. Meanwhile, Qin Wanshao, who was watching from high up on the city walls, also froze in complete confusion when he saw the trio suddenly halt their attack. Then he immediately yelled out, but those words only made cold sweat pour down the trio's faces. All that confidence they had just a minute ago was completely gone. The true power of this beast king was way beyond what they expected. Bitter regret washed over all three of them at the exact same time. They regretted boasting about killing the beast, and they deeply regretted conspiring with Qin Wanshao to drive Li Xiao out of the Esper Association. If Li Xiao was still around, they wouldn't have to face this monster. Unfortunately for them, regret was completely useless now. The tiger's senses had already locked onto the trio. It had absolutely no intention of letting them escape. Feeling the beast's gaze lock onto them, the faces of Ying Xuan's group twisted in sheer panic. But they knew it was way too late to back out now. They exchanged a tense look, gritting their teeth. Sure, this beast is strong, but there are three of us. What are we even afraid of? No matter how powerful it is, can one creature really beat three espers of the same level? Thinking this, the panicked look on their faces finally started to clear up a bit. The three glared coldly at the massive tiger. Today, we are going to slay you and avenge every single human you have slaughtered. Instantly, waves of terrifying energy began to explode around the three fighters once again. The tiger's eyes flashed with pure mockery. Kill me. You honestly think you are worthy of that? If that human named Li Xiao came out, maybe you would have a chance. Hearing the tiger's bloodthirsty, mocking voice, the trio's faces darkened even further. The tiger was acting completely relaxed while staring down the three of them, but according to the beast, all three of them put together couldn't even match a single Li Xiao. Pure rage burned in their eyes. With a low growl, the three figures charged straight toward the white-winged tiger. Countless people watching the actions of Ying Xuan and his trio, whether they were espers fighting in the beast tide or normal citizens back in Star City, their faces flushed red with raw excitement, hearts pounding in their chests. At the center of the battlefield, the white-winged tiger and Ying Xuan's trio clashed, four triple S powers colliding. Their raw energy turned the immediate area into a complete vacuum. Everyone feeling the shockwaves between the double S espers and the Beast King, both beasts and espers alike, scrambled to back away. Getting caught in this terrifying crossfire meant instant death. Even the stray shockwaves of the fight could easily tear lower-tier espers to shreds. Meanwhile, outside the chaotic battlefield, normal citizens and espers across Star City cheered wildly for Ying Xuan and his team. They truly believed that with Lord Ying Xuan on their side, not even a Beast King could touch their city. Laughter echoed, insisting that even without Li Xiao, Lord Ying Xuan's team could easily keep the Beast King at bay. Glued to the live stream, the excited crowd kept laughing. But with their limited vision, they completely missed a terrifying detail about Ying Xuan and his trio. Despite fighting the white-winged tiger for only a brief moment, sweat already drenched their faces. Their complexions had turned deathly pale from the extreme drain on their esper energy. In stark contrast, the white-winged tiger looked completely unfazed, even though it was fighting all on its own. It seemed totally relaxed from start to finish, despite facing three other triple S-class fighters. But the white-winged tiger was clearly on a completely different level. It sneered with just this little bit of strength. You dare call yourselves triple S-class? And right in that moment, the beast's fierce eyes widened with bloodlust. It raised its massive, terrifying claws and slammed them straight down toward the trio. Simultaneously, the esper energy around the beast skyrocketed, completely trapping the three of them as a heavy sense of impending doom settled in. Their faces twisted in sheer panic, and they desperately tried to fall back. But they suddenly realized the beast's overwhelming energy had completely sealed off the surrounding 100 meters. Had they been at full strength, they might have stood a chance of escaping by using every trick in the book. Yet now, after clashing with the tiger for so long, their reserves of esper energy were almost entirely gone. At this very moment, a look of absolute terror finally crept into their eyes. It was the exact same feeling they had before becoming triple S class, back when they were just weak, low-tier espers facing a colossal beast king. Back then, it was Li Xiao who stood alone at the city gates, holding off every single beast king. They honestly believed their new power would let them take down a beast king on their own. Instead, cold reality just slapped them hard in the face. Li Xiao could effortlessly hold off 2 or 3 beast kings at the exact same time. Yet, here they were, 3 of them working together, looking completely pathetic against just a single opponent. With a wave of terrifying energy, The white-winged tiger's massive claw slammed violently down onto Ying Xuan's team. At that exact moment, the hopeful expressions of everyone cheering inside Star City completely froze, because this time, Ying Xuan and his allies couldn't withstand the monster's brutal strike. Instead, the impact sent them flying backward, their bodies smashing directly into the massive, solid walls of Star City. The massive city walls shuddered under the impact. A heavy, deathly silence fell. Immediately after, pure terror crept into the eyes of the citizens. But they weren't the only ones watching this nightmare unfold. Thanks to the live stream, people outside the city saw it too. The Esper Association had deliberately broadcast the fight, allowing smaller surrounding cities to tune in. Right now, Chen Xuan, the strong guardian of Qi Chang, was also glued to the live stream. Before the Triple S Beast King arrived, he watched Ying Xuan's trio tear through the lesser beasts like they were nothing. Even though Chen Xuan hated how the Esper Association drove Li Xiao away, he still respected the incredible strength of Ying Xuan and his teammates. In fact, he truly believed that with their combined power, even if a Beast King actually showed up, they would easily block or even slay the monster. But the brutal reality gave Chen Xuan a massive shock. Just the appearance of that single white-winged tiger, with the power of just one beast, it was actually strong enough to completely overpower 3 triple S-class Espers at once, never falling into a disadvantage for even a single second. Is it possible Ying Xuan and his team really cannot do a thing to that Beast King? Are they looking at a 50-50 coin toss? Chen Xuan thought this was the worst it could get, but watching the live stream show Ying Xuan and his trio get thrown back by the white-winged tiger, he could no longer hide his sheer shock. Even as a double S-class Esper, his chest tightened with dread. 3 triple S-class Espers working together were still no match for one single Beast King. They got absolutely crushed head-on. Nobody even dared to imagine it. Total despair. It settled deep in his gut. He once believed that if he could just reach triple S-class one day, it would mean having what it takes to fight a Beast Lord. If Li Xiao ever left Qicheng, he could protect the city alone. This live stream shattered that illusion. Completely. Right now, ordinary double S-class Espers were completely outclassed. On screen, Ying Xuan's beaten trio was coughing up blood, helplessly defeated, while the guards on the city walls watched in absolute, paralyzing terror. Chen Xuan stared, his eyes filled with heavy dread. He wondered if the Esper Association elites regretted driving Li Xiao away. Did they ever expect to face this nightmare? Li Xiao had the strength to defend Star City for 5 whole years, constantly beating back Beast Kings until the city and the association grew into the massive powerhouses they are today. But ordinary triple S-class Espers could never pull off what he did. Today's slaughter proved it. Facing a real Beast King, the massive gulf between those 3 and Li Xiao was laid bare for everyone to see. Even if the bosses at the association were starting to panic now, regrets were far too late now. After all, Li Xiao had already walked away. A chilling realization hit Chen Xuan like a physical blow. Star City is finished. Truly finished. Nobody expected that the moment Li Xiao walked away, the very first beast threat to hit the city would be completely unstoppable. Without an elite warrior capable of killing a triple S-class Beast King, the rest of the defenders were just lambs to the slaughter. As this thought sunk in, Chen Xuan felt a cold sweat break out. His energy flared, and in a flash, he vanished from his spot, rushing straight toward the quiet little courtyard where Li Xiao lived in Qicheng. The place looked entirely different from the overgrown mess it had been when Li Xiao first arrived. The moment Chen Xuan stepped through the gate, his eyes locked onto 3 small saplings growing on the north side. He squinted, his gaze instantly fixing tightly on those young trees. Even though they were seedlings, his double S-class Esper instincts flared. He felt something strange the second he crossed the threshold. A dense, hidden power was constantly pulsing from them, occasionally flashing with a very strange and faint purple glow. He had only ever felt this kind of spiritual pressure from legendary treasures that could boost top-tier warriors. But those mythical herbs had to be fully grown to emit that power, while these young saplings had clearly just been planted by Li Xiao a short while ago. Still, their energy was already just as intense as those rare artifacts. He could not even begin to imagine how powerful they would be once they fully matured. Chen Xuan, what brings you over? A sudden voice behind him shattered his concentration and snapped him back to reality. He spun around to find Li Xiao already standing in the doorway, holding a fruit platter. The man had appeared without making a single sound. The plate held slices of some strange exotic fruit, glowing with a crystal-clear purple light. Chen Xuan's nose twitched as an unbelievably sweet, rich fragrance immediately filled the air around him. At that moment, his mind cleared up and a wave of relief washed over him. All the heavy mental fatigue he had built up guarding Qicheng was instantly wiped clean. The raw energy in his body, which had been stuck at double S class for years, suddenly began to stir and flow. Chen Xuan's eyes widened in absolute shock. Li Xiao did not notice. He just offered a warm smile and walked over. As he stepped closer, the sweet, intoxicating scent of the fruit grew even stronger. The dormant energy inside Chen Xuan started racing. He stared, completely transfixed, at the sliced fruit in Li Xiao's hands. There was no doubt about it that incredible, mind-clearing aroma was pouring from those purple slices. "What is this?" Chen Xuan asked, utterly stunned. Li Xiao just smiled. "Oh, this?" Li Xiao looked down at the fruit platter in his hands and smiled. "It is just some fruit I grew myself. Want a piece?" Hearing that, Chen Xuan swallowed hard, his eyes instantly glued to the platter in his hands. At this point, even an idiot could tell that the real source of this insane power was right in Li Xiao's hands. That fruit platter. Just catching a whiff of it from a distance had this kind of crazy effect. If he actually ate a piece, wouldn't he literally ascend to heaven? Seeing his wild reaction, Li Xiao just laughed. The slices on the platter were, of course, the rare ability enhancement fruits he had bagged earlier. Eating all these ability enhancement fruits in a single day would build up a tolerance and waste their incredible power, so Li Xiao planned to eat just one a day. But right as he finished slicing it up, Chen Xuan showed up out of nowhere. "Want a piece too?" Li Xiao asked, gesturing toward the platter while looking at his guest. A single ability enhancement fruit had been cut into 8 even slices. Hearing the offer, Chen Xuan gulped. Is that really okay? He had never seen this purple fruit before. But for an S-rank Esper to feel this kind of pull just from the scent, he knew it was incredibly precious. A treasure like this had to be insanely valuable even to Li Xiao. But Li Xiao just waved it off, saying he had plenty more. "Once these 3 saplings grow up, I will have more of these ability enhancement fruits than I know what to do with." Li Xiao pointed back at the 3 small saplings. According to his system, these saplings would produce plenty of ability enhancement fruits once they matured. And when it came to growing them, Li Xiao was not worried about that at all. He checked his system panel. Yesterday's daily quest had rewarded him with a special item called the Esper Heavenly Spring. With it, he could order the system to spawn this magical spring anywhere he wanted. The water had one primary job: it dramatically sped up plant growth. Hearing that, Chen Xuan looked back at the 3 small saplings. The sheer shock in his eyes only grew deeper. He already suspected these saplings were special, but he never imagined they could actually be this completely insane. Since these saplings actually grow this insane fruit, Chen Xuan grinned and said he would not hold back once they matured. Snatching up the smallest slice of fruit, he swallowed it in one quick bite. The instant the fruit went down, the Esper energy inside his body exploded. It started swirling around him in a wild, violent spiral. A wave of terrifying energy blasted outward in every direction, kicking up a violent wind. But before that raging energy could tear up the room or damage the surroundings, Li Xiao gave him a quick look. With a simple thought, he threw up an energy barrier around Chen Xuan to contain the blast. Inside that barrier, Chen Xuan's own power level began to skyrocket at an unbelievable pace. A long moment passed before Chen Xuan finally opened his eyes, this time shining with pure, absolute joy. Thanks to that single slice of fruit, Chen Xuan was stunned to find his strength had pushed all the way to the peak of S rank. With just a little more time, breaking through to become a double S rank Esper would be a breeze. The mere thought of reaching double S rank sent a massive jolt of excitement through him. Li Xiao noticed the shift in his energy, too, but he frowned slightly because he hadn't hit double S rank yet. At first, he figured a single 1/8 slice of the fruit would easily push Chen Xuan to double S rank. It should have been easy, but looking at him now, a single slice just wasn't quite enough. After all, he was planning to make Qi City his home for a very long time. Chen Xuan was the strongest local Esper besides himself, and if he had to handle every future threat completely on his own, honestly, that would be incredibly annoying.